Swag on the beat.
Swag on the beat. Swag on the beat.
Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Swag on the Beat podcast.
Welcome.
My name is Jack.
And my name is Isaac.
And if you really still don't know, I am the one with the short, slicky hair, and you are the
Yep.
one with the longer hair.
Longer, not as slicky.
Yeah.
There's some hair above my lip
Still
as well.
lovely. Still lovely.
Yeah.
And you got a bit of pen on your arms and stuff.
Yeah.
I usually wash that off before I come in to record, especially in a brand new podcast. We're trying to be professional here. We've got cameras.
Exactly.
We built this studio ourselves. We are pumped. It's been a long time coming.
We're pumped, yeah.
So basically, you know, it's time to bring everyone into the inner sanctum of swag.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, just to get people started, my first memory of you was, so we went to primary school together.
Yeah, we've been mates for a very long time.
A very long time. We went from primary school all the way through to university. You went to university for about 5 minutes, and then you went off and did other stuff.
Oh, well, I had other
You
things to attend.
you had a long shower. You took about a 5-year shower. No one saw you.
I went to uni with you for a year out of school. And then I kind of thought, you know what, I want to go get some life experience.
Yeah.
I want to go experience the world and what it looks and smells like in other places. And some people would prefer just to stay within the same sort of 3 buildings for their remaining adolescent years. And that's fine. Each to their own.
And look how differently our lives have turned out. Anyway,
Exactly.
but
Well,
this story came to mind when I was coming in today, because we're in a studio. We're not in the house we usually film in, which is kind of nice. It feels different. It's like, is this work or what is this? Anyway, it was grade 3.
Okay.
And right, it's the start of the year, and
Miss Boland.
Miss Boland, yeah, and she would often make this competition between the students where everyone would stand up out of their seats, and the game was whoever could say the times table
tables,
answer.
yeah.
Yeah. And if you got it wrong, you sat down, or if you're too slow, you sat down.
Yes, I love
anyway,
that game.
so towards the end of the game, the final 2 contestants were yourself and I, right?
Really?
And we're 7 years old. I didn't know you. This is our first class together, whatever.
Is this true?
This is true, yeah. Well, I remember this quite clearly.
Oh, yeah.
And
me too.
Yeah. Well, clearly, you mean the same amount to each other. But anyway, Miss Boland is about to line up her final question, and she takes it very seriously. And right before she does, you turn to me and you go, "Oh, you shouldn't bite your nails. It's a bad habit." Completely puts me off. She says 4 by 5, 4 times
20,
5.
right.
Yeah, and you're banging. And
you were rattled.
And I'm on the floor in a daze.
What, did I-
My mouth full of nails.
Were we standing next to each other?
Well,
And
yeah,
I
I mean,
under the breath whispered, "Oh, mate, just so you know."
Yeah. It's just a bad habit. Yeah.
I do not remember that. But
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it isn't the best habit. Give us a look at your nails now.
Well, no, because they're a bit long
They
now
are? Yeah.
because I play guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah, which is kind of sounds a bit, what's the word, wanky?
Well, I think it's not
That's
actually
true.
the guitar. I think it's
Okay.
because of the rattle when we were
so
7 years
you're
old.
admitting, this is like one of those shows in America where the bullies come back and
No.
say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to the little runt." Well,
No.
you say it now, I will accept your apology.
I think the little runt says to the bully,
sorry,
finally,
hang on, sorry. So just your apology when you're ready to go.
So the little runt comes on and says, "Hey, bully, I'm so grateful for the harsh truths that you instilled into me because now I don't bite my nails and I have so much extra time
I've
to
got
eat food."
abnormally long nails now, so it's kind of pushed me in the other direction. So
you're welcome, yeah.
apologise when you're ready.
No, so you're welcome.
And go ahead on the
right.
microphone, just
No
in front of you,
worries.
straight down the barrel of the camera as well, just to your left. Thank you so much.
Absolutely no worries. You're welcome. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Thank you so much. Well, let's get started with whatever this is going to be. We can't wait to include everyone in it, and we are so pumped. We've got our beautiful producer, Mr. Mike,
Mr.
behind the
Radio.
desk there, and he is going to take care of us. Let's get into it.
Swag on the beat.
Isaac, not only have we been friends for a very long time, as we just said, but our dads are actually quite close.
Yes, they
And
are.
They hang out quite often.
Yeah, Graham and Steve.
Graham and Steve, and they're both carpenters. They both are from both from Melbourne.
Yep.
And
They're both our dads.
They're both our dads, so that's something we have in common, which is nice. But I thought it'd be nice because I know you would have examples of this too. But Dad is a prolific. What's the word? Like interesting texter. He'll send things that are not creepy because it's Dad, like just odd ways of saying things. And I'm sure I just when I had the thought, I was like, everyone must have examples of this in their own life where their dad sends a weird thing, or maybe it's an uncle, or maybe it's a grandfather, whatever it is.
It's not weird coming from your dad, but if that same text came from me, you'd be like, "What the heck's going on?"
Yeah, Isaac's catatonic somewhere and needs help or something. Maybe that's an inappropriate word, but and that's okay. But what I wanted to do was this. I'm getting text from Dad. Yeah, nobody's really sure how to act. Yeah, because they are getting text from Dad. Yeah, SMS, Facebook, or even Slack. Yeah,
Dad uses Slack.
I think
Or it was just a convenient.
well, I have the app. We use it occasionally, but I could see it when I was making that recording, and I was like, well, that rhymes with Back in Black. What's the song?
That is true.
It's not a false statement. Well, look. I said, JT, come into the studio. You work that out. So I was kind of peripherally
JT
there as a producer. Yeah,
Came from jail straight to the
jail
studio.
jail T. Yeah, you call him jail T. Yeah, no, I just call him JT. Yeah, that's more of an acquaintance thing. Mates call
You
him
guys
that.
go way forward.
We go way forward. Yeah, so far forward, you wouldn't believe it. Anyway, so on to the first text. Okay, so text from Dad. That's
Okay,
what we're reading.
yes.
Okay, so we have a group chat within the family, and my
What is your group chat, the family group chat called? Does it have a name?
it's called Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. You'd have to
know.
ask a sibling.
My family group chat is called Guy Sebastian Fan Club.
Really? We've met him.
I know we've met Guy Sebastian. He's a great guy,
Yeah,
and I
he is, yeah.
forgot to bring it up with him. But the reason being, my dad, who is a pretty Aussie bloke, right? He's kind of like leaning towards the bogan side.
Fair dinkum, yeah.
But some words he chooses to pronounce perfectly as they were probably pronounced in 1800s England.
Right.
And so Guy Sebastian, he says Guy Sebastian.
Oh, really?
And so we just make fun of him for that constantly. So that's why our group chat is called Guy Sebastian
Quite
Fan
an
Club.
articulate man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wednesday is another one he
Wednesday.
really goes for. And another one is suggestion.
Suggestion.
He really says both the G's in suggestion.
See, Dad goes for succinct, which is the correct way to say it, but he really sits on that
He almost
C.
puts another one in there.
Yeah, it's like a triple C,
Succinct.
a triple C, whatever. Anyway, sorry, he should be audited by them. No, move on. Anyway, so here's the
Yes.
first text from Dad. My sister was traveling in Japan, which we've both been. You've
Yes,
been, yeah,
I mean,
okay.
great
And
place.
she sent a picture of a really nice garden in Tokyo to the family group
Must
chat.
have been hard to come by.
Yeah, exactly. And Dad responds with beautiful autumn colours, ellipses. And then he goes, I took the collar off the cat last night but couldn't find her this morning to put it back on. In the same message.
same message.
And it's just like,
Nice.
And it's like, thanks, Dad. Like, that's great. Like,
I respect it. If there's information to be given,
Yeah.
it shall be given.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who wants to press send twice in a day?
Yeah,
You get a sore
exactly.
thumb.
Would you stop speaking halfway through and then continue speaking? No, you just
No,
keep
you wouldn't.
talking.
Yeah. And I had another one. It sounds like my siblings are globetrotters, which they kind of are. My brother was in Europe.
Wow. Also
and
pretty nice over there.
Also pretty nice over there. And he was sending pictures, very picture-based stuff, right? And a couple of stories from when he was in Switzerland. And after a series of pictures, he said, in this street, he took a photo of this street because Owen Wilson rode past him on the street, the Hollywood actor.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Very
yes.
familiar. And Dad goes, wow. And then brackets, in the same tone you often hear Owen Wilson do in his films, close bracket. It's just like...
Cheers for clarifying,
Yeah, thank
Dad.
you so much. Anyway,
So is that, you said you mentioned he uses the voice to text quite a bit.
Yeah.
Do you think that was on the voice to text with the extended wow? And does he say open bracket or that's getting a bit techie?
I have heard him say he's known, you can hear if you walk through the house late at night, you can hear an open bracket because he's doing text messages.
Wow.
I don't know who he's texting late at
Ooh.
night. God, I have to bring that with Mum. No, play on.
Steve, he's a good man.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, so there were my two iterations. I feel like people would have a lot of those.
Did you, sorry, have you got some other ones, some screenshots from friends that we're going to see?
Yeah,
We're gonna
no,
hear?
I'm going to hold them. I'm just see if there's any interest. Because send them in if there's anything you want to hear or there's anything you want to be brought up and you think your dad has sent an interesting text
If you
message,
have a text
yeah,
from Dad.
send it in. Yeah, DM.
We want to hear it.
Send us
Oh,
a
we want
DM.
to read it.
Yeah, we want to read it because I think there's plenty out there. Because I asked 3 people and I got copious amounts of text messages. Yeah,
I want to know some more dads.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll start with the text messages and see where it goes from there. Yeah. Send them into the Swag on the Beat podcast.
Yeah.
Is that first call to action?
Wow.
Swag on the Beat podcast on IG. We will read every single one.
Yep.
We promise.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them, and 2 of them will come from us. And Dad will be accidentally calling the Instagram account because he's done that before. He's called the Swag on the Beat main account, hasn't he?
Video called us 3 times in the space of an hour.
Yeah, it's amazing. You were probably off doing some you're probably getting a tattoo or something like that.
Yeah.
And the phone's ringing, and I'm like, Dad, don't hit the phone button.
Because he's managed. That's not just like a pocket dial from recents. That's he's gone into Instagram in his pocket and clicked. Has he typed in swag on the beat?
He's gone. Oh, I'm flying this aircraft here. Let's press every button. That's what he's done. Anyway, please send your DMs in the Swag of the Beat podcast. IG. Can't wait to read them.
Jack, there's
Isaac.
something that I think we need to address before we get going with this podcast while it's at the top.
Okay.
That has to do with the shared space that we use and the way that we each use it.
As in here?
No, the space I'm talking about is an e-space. It's online.
Oh, no.
And it's
Yeah,
the
okay.
OneNote.
Yeah.
So
which is a great thing. You got me onto OneNote,
I got you onto
by the way,
OneNote.
so thank you.
And
Yeah.
we're not ambassadors. I mean, we are ambassadors of OneNote. We're just not getting paid for it because we always say how good it is.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's a Microsoft application and it's like similar to Microsoft Word, but they have pages within folders, and you can really neatly organize all of your
you can.
different pages.
You can.
Well, some people can.
Okay.
So the issue, which it feels like you already sort of have a gauge on what I'm going to bring up.
Sure.
I think that the way that we organise our respective OneNotes is quite different.
Sure.
And I think there's a couple of things that you could do in your OneNote pages that we share and we both look at to read scripts that would make it a little bit easier for me to
Do you have trouble
follow.
understanding what's written down?
Well, not things that are written down in an ergonomic way.
Okay.
But I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of things, and I
Okay.
think if I mean maybe you have explanations for them that I'm not
Look,
seeing.
if this is an interrogation, I'm happy to be
No,
part of
no,
it, and
no.
I will adhere to any
it's just a
stringent
friendly
rules you
conversation.
have.
It's just a friendly
I
conversation.
feel like the light's just got a little bit brighter above my head in particular, so I'm feeling interrogated.
well, you should
but
stop
that's
turning
okay.
on the light switch. But so I mean, the first one is the dot points. Well,
Yeah, dot points. Yep.
dot points. I use a nice firm circle,
Yeah.
strong,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing a lot of hyphens in your pages.
No, it's a dash dot point. It is.
But you
if
see how? Yeah, I think the key is in the dot point. It's a dot.
Right.
And also the indent in your dot points sometimes starts well before the regular line. So it almost kind of is defeating the purpose for the dot points.
Right.
And because on the shared OneNote we have the scripts that we read off for the video. So
Yeah.
I think the easier they are to follow, the smoother the film day is.
Yeah, but okay. I guess my question is, do you feel like you're less efficient because of the way that I format my things? Because I'm just trying to get stuff down. I'm just trying to get stuff down.
Yes. I
do?
think it is less
Okay.
efficient.
Well,
No. Well, here's another one for you. So
Okay.
highlighting. There's pretty much no rhyme or reason to your highlighting when it comes to
Disagree.
because it frequently gets to the stage where everything is highlighted. The whole script is highlighted,
Yeah.
and then for stuff to stand out, it gets unhighlighted. Kind of defeats the purpose of the highlighting in the first place.
But the rebuttal. Hang on. So I highlight the entire script because there's crap either side of it. Because it's like the script is like highlighted green usually, and that's just fully green because there's like rubbish either side of it of just like random thoughts. Oh, is this line going to put in? Okay, we'll take that out. Blah, blah, blah. So that's the idea. Is so when you go onto a page, I'm thinking. Because what I'm thinking when I'm making them is, what would make Isaac the happiest he can possibly be? And that's what I'm really meditating on that thought. And the thought is, I want to make it all green, the part where he needs to think about it. Otherwise,
I appreciate that
Thank you
thought.
so much, yeah.
Well, I think there's a few other more punctuation-related examples, but I guess those are more one-off things, like starting an open talking mark and then not closing it and putting a colon. And just you've got 3 OneNote folders called Working Ideas. And I'm pretty sure by now they all have different things in them.
Well, I'm sure Mike is a third, neutral third party here. The
Judge, he can be.
When Microsoft had that meltdown like a month or two ago, everything got doubled or like something like that. So
tripled in some
Well,
cases.
tripled, yeah. So like that I will give as a sore point, but that's Bill Gates did that. I didn't do that.
Okay,
Or whoever runs Microsoft now, I don't. He's probably not him now.
No, yeah, he's
Because he was head of OneNote for a while. I do know that. And maybe that's why. Maybe that's
Okay,
the
well-
issues you need to take up with him.
Well,
I mean, I'm flawless.
I'll chalk that
usually.
one up to Billy. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you, yeah.
But I think just as a general rule, I think there's some things that you could maybe not do anymore
Yep.
that would make it a bit easier.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe I'd put these together in audio form. So maybe it's a little bit easier for you to remember next time you're on our shared OneNote page and wondering how to do something.
French.
Italian. When your dot points are lines and they have no indent, that's no more.
When the words on the page are all underlined red, that's no more A.
That's good.
If a green highlight means good, then it should also mean good in another folder. Ciao. If something's not more important than other stuff, then it shouldn't be bolder.
There's no need.
When you're choosing a font and a size for the text, maybe choose one.
Uno, please.
Even though changing fonts from one line to the next might be fun.
Mamma mia.
When you cross something out and don't need it anymore, just delete it.
Doesn't need to be this.
When you start with a bracket, then another bracket is needed. When your dot points a line and they have no.
That was just it goes on for another couple of minutes there. But everyone agreed. So,
Oh, man, that's great.
Maybe
Well,
just play that next time you log on and go from there.
Maybe that's the login. I have to type in my password and then that plays for a minute 15.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like an interlock on a car. Not allowed to drive one note until you take the interlock, bash his head against the sign. I told you those signs were too wide. Isaac, we love a nickname.
Oh, yes.
It's one of our favourite things to give. I would say I have had, I have a bit of a nickname drought myself. I was never really bestowed something that I love.
It's a tough name. Your full name, Jack Say,
Yeah.
is 2 syllables long.
Yeah, there's not much room for error, right? Is
Not
there?
much you can do
like,
with it.
Your last name's Gibbons. You probably got Gibbo,
Yeah.
or Izza a lot. Maybe that was younger years.
Yeah. Awesome legend.
Yeah, but like not like well, I don't remember that
I
one
got that
particularly.
heaps.
I
I
mean,
got
I've
heaps.
been around you a long time. I never heard,
all the
never
other
really heard
people
that.
from other schools called me it.
Okay,
Just because they saw me and thought, oh, look at that guy. He's an awesome legend.
Right,
They
they were
didn't know
probably
my real
standing
name.
near a mirror that was reflecting to me, but you thought they were looking at you. Anyway, it doesn't make sense.
Unlikely, yes.
Yeah, but what I heard the other day was my brother talking about a nickname that he had from someone in his year level, and it got me thinking. Because the classic one that we know between our mates is our friend Lobby plays at like local cricket level.
Yep.
And there's this guy, this big burly guy, and he's got his chest puffed out. You know what I'm talking about already.
Arms wide.
And he's like, he walks around. If you can imagine, if you're not watching the video, it's kind of like arms wide because he's so big. He's such a big guy.
Wouldn't fit through a door.
Straight
ways.
Needs
Would
to
have
be-
to go on the side.
Yeah,
with the way that he
perpendicular
walks.
shoulders. Yeah. And his nickname is because of the way he walks. He gets called Two Canoes because it looks like he's holding two canoes, which I think is one of the all-time names.
It's great.
And so I was talking about this with my brother, and he goes, "Oh, that reminds me of a nickname that a guy had." And I'm not going to say his name because it's not a great nickname, but it's also I can't remember his name. So there's
But
two
everyone
things.
that knows him will know him by the nickname anyway.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Walter said it stuck around for a while. Anyway, so you know the dreaded day at school when you have to do the beep test.
Yes.
You know, like unless you're going to play professional football, it's everyone's worst nightmare, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to think of excuses
Fake
or
an
whatever.
injury,
You take whatever, blah, blah. So this guy in my brother's year level sort of bowed out early in the beep test, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's such an early time to." And he's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And he's like, "Oh, my knees are sore," and then his nickname became 4.7. My knees hurt. That was his nickname. Yeah, which is a score. Which is a score in the beep test, and it's quite a low score. And then Walter said it just became 4.7.
Oh,
so this guy's nickname around school was 4.7 for multiple years. Walter said this was like in year 8, 9. It lasted through to valedictory dinner in the last time in year 12.
That's a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really nice. And I thought you'd appreciate that as a nickname lover. And if anyone wants a nickname, we're not asking for it because you never asked for it.
No.
But, yeah, you know,
Wait.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably time that you got a nickname, right?
Well, I mean, if the crowd wants me, I'm happy to, oblige.
I did think that actually because coming
don't force it.
Coming into
be chill,
recording
it's cool.
the first couple of episodes, I was thinking, I'm gonna have to say Jack a lot.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I want something else to say. So
Well,
I've been working behind the scenes, but it's not really something that you can force, right?
No,
It's
it's chill. It's chill.
Although, just much like the situation you just mentioned, you don't want it to happen naturally sometimes because sometimes it's not in your favor.
Yeah, but look,
one that you
he sounds like Elon Musk's kid or something. 4.7, XEA 4.8 or whatever. You know,
there's numbers involved. So a nickname that you got semi-bestowed upon for a while within our friendship group a while ago that wasn't so much in your favour. It was a funny one. It was you went working for a day with our mate Scotty.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
mate of ours.
Yeah, okay.
He's a chippy.
He's
and
tough
He's
guy,
a
Scotty,
fair
yeah.
dinkum Aussie battler.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
went to do a day of work with him. You were building a deck, I believe.
Yeah, for a family friend of mine.
Yeah, for a family
And he
friend
was
of
getting
yours.
paid, I think. He would have,
So
yeah.
he was getting paid. And then apparently along the way, he was over other side of the deck. He needed something that was
Yeah.
over closer to your side of the deck. And he goes, Jackie boy,
Yeah,
you
Jackie
pass us
boy.
those nails?
Yeah, yeah. It's just a little bit of a head noogie.
So
Yeah.
you copped Jackie boy for a little bit
Yeah, a
after
little bit of that. But
That kind of petered out,
That's sort
didn't
of
it?
that's gone.
But
That's
maybe I should bring it
completely
back
gone.
in, actually.
No,
Now
no.
that you mention it.
Look, I
Now that you
I guess
mention that
all I
story.
wanted to say was that funny story, and you like laughed so much that you couldn't say anything else, and that's the end of the
Well,
sort of the end of the segment. So yeah, it's fine.
You do need a nickname. So I reckon we need to come up with one for you.
Or just more stories of good nicknames, because I'm nervous.
Well, maybe I'll just call you Jack Say.
That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? It's nice and quick. It's almost too quick.
Jack, I'm part of a very exclusive club.
Oh, what's that?
But
But
it's-
sitting in front of me.
Yeah, I'm the only member and the
Yeah.
president. No,
Oh,
this club is a unique one because I didn't really know I was joining it. I was all of a sudden just part of it.
Thrust into it.
Yes.
It's
And
not a cult, is it?
I reckon, yeah, I'd call it a cult, but a positive one
A young
where we
horse.
uplift each other and
okay.
don't burn any sacrifice.
Am I
Well,
in this? Am I
only
in it?
burn a few sacrifices.
Am I in the club?
You're not in this one. You might be in a similar one, but the club I'm talking about is old Volvo drivers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so the reason you might be in one because you have an old car as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you do this in you've got a Nissan Navara, right?
Yeah, 99. Thank
So
you.
my Volvo it's a 940 model. It's one of the older models. And anytime I drive past another similar model,
Yep.
you give each other a wave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the best.
Okay.
It feels awesome.
Camaraderie, yeah. I do notice you,
I
yes.
come
Yeah, I
home
do notice
buzzing.
that, yeah.
I'm doing finger dances on the steering wheel. It's the best. And so I think there's nothing better than connecting with a stranger over a random experience that just is a fleeting
Yes,
moment,
yeah.
and then you go on, and it's just a nice, pleasant experience with a random person.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember because the first time it happened to me, I was just driving along and I looked at someone coming the other way and they waved to me and I was saying, I definitely don't know this really old dude. And I was thinking,
right.
what, and I didn't wave back. And then I as he drove past, I realized he was in a Volvo 940 and I felt so bad that I didn't wave at him.
Go
It
chase
was
him
this
down.
friendly old dude. I didn't. I was too far gone, but I vowed
the GDA.
I vowed never to let that happen ever again.
Right,
so
right.
as soon as I see
as soon
one.
as you see someone, your hands at the roof.
Yeah,
you're, like,
exactly.
waving so
You've
fast,
probably
yeah.
been in the car when I've driven past one.
I have been.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's. Do you do that with the Navara? See other old Navaras coming past. Yours is blue as well, so
Blue, it's very identifiable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, our friend Scotty had a Navara for a long time.
yeah. But I
But,
mean, you
like,
just wave at Scotty
You
because
just
he's
wave
our
at Scotty,
mate.
says our friend. Yeah. Look,
Well,
like, I'm going to be honest with viewers and yourself.
Yeah, please.
When I'm driving, most of the time, like, so I got a stereo put in.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, like, I was like, oh, this is a great deal. It's under $100. Three months later, I'm pulling up to pick you up. I think you had mates on the street curb with your mates, and I was playing 50 Cent really loud to try and embarrass you. And then the speaker blew. So
I remember you were so happy because you fitted the stereo
I fitted
yourself,
it myself.
and it sounded great in the '98
It
Navara.
sounded really
and
good.
the
Yeah,
speakers
it was
were
like
good.
you get in and you feel like you're in
You were
the
stoked.
latest Land Rover with Beats speakers or something. Anyway, so I've reverted to using my headphones.
Yeah, you're now a big over-the-head phone while driving.
which
guy.
I don't know what the implications of that are.
I don't think that's legal.
Who
right?
knows, really? So Mike is our producer, and he's going to edit that if he needs to.
But I did notice it
Anyway,
when
so
you're leaving
what I'm
the other
saying
day.
is,
You don't wave at
I'm
other
not
Navaras.
wave. I don't. I'm like, I'm in my world. I'm in my own world.
Well, yeah, well,
Yeah.
in your own big world. You should try it next time you go past a similar year Navara or even maybe a blue one and see if you get a wave back. Because I don't know if it's just especially the Volvo community that's especially
Yeah,
friendly
yeah.
and welcoming. But what I can tell you is it's the best feeling ever.
Right.
And I think it's just because, that fleeting moment of connecting with a stranger, it reminded me of this one time I was working with my dad when I was probably 15 or 16, and we would always go to the bakery and get a pie and a sausage roll for lunch and the Neenish tart and then go back and keep working.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting at a table was just me there. I can't remember where he was, but I was eating a pie and had sauce on it. And I looked over, I was sitting outside on the tables, and I looked over, and there was another about a 40-year-old dude who was eating a pie with sauce on it.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other and just raised the pie at each other and nodded in appreciation of the moment we were both experiencing.
Wow,
and just
that's
like,
great.
pie. And
Like that old ad.
Yeah, and it made me feel so good just connecting with a stranger like that over a random joint experience. So I was thinking, like, is that just something in the moment? Is it something you can prepare for? I had a list of things here. I was going to see if you think they are worthy of a joint wave over this experience.
Okay.
Do you think, like, if this happens, do you think I could get a wave back from the person?
Okay.
Or would they not? It'd be too obscure and they wouldn't understand what's going on.
Is it creepy or cool?
Yeah, sure. So, first one, walking past someone with the same tattoo, a visible similar tattoo.
Like if they got the puma on there.
Yeah, so we walk past someone else with a panther. I don't think there is, by the way. I'm the only one. With this tattoo. I was the first one to get it and the only one. But if there was someone else,
Yeah, look, I'm not in that world, but yes, I would say yes.
you're king of the clean
I'm
skins.
a clean skin.
So,
and so is Mike, actually. So you're outnumbered
okay.
here. Are
Well-
you, actually?
Yes, I am.
Mike's a clean skin.
Straight to heaven.
I think that's fine. Yep.
Well, I'm not saying it. Do you think it's
You have
creepy?
permission- Sorry.
Do you
just
think?
to confirm, you have permission. I have given you permission to wave at other tattoo people.
But what
Is that
I'm
you call
saying,
yourselves?
dirty skins. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, if I did that, do you think someone would wave back, knowing like the guy with the pie? We knew we were acknowledging the pie.
I suppose it's how you acknowledge it. Like you wouldn't if you
Yeah, but
got
I'm
the
not-
panther
yeah.
here. You're not going to go wave and like hide the panther. You're probably just going to go like this,
Yeah,
raise it up like
yeah,
that.
panther, nice.
And for the people listening, I'm raising my arm up. like
Okay,
a-
well,
yeah.
like a sailor on the high seas.
Yeah, arr.
So what about going past someone with in the supermarket with the same item in your trolley or basket?
No.
What if it's an obscure item?
Like what?
I don't know, like low-fat laughing cow cheese or like home brand potato gems or something. And if you have that same item in
Does
your
it
trolley,
have to be a wave? Like
no,
yeah,
like
at
if you,
best,
I think it's pending. It's the situation dependent. Like if I was walking past
Right.
someone and we both had potato gems in the baby pram section of our trolley,
Yeah.
I would give them a nod. I'd
nod,
look at the potato
yeah.
gems and I'd give them a
Yeah,
nod. I'd
nod's
go,
fine, nod's fine.
potato
Yeah,
gems,
yep.
and they'd nod back potato gems.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about stopped at a light and you've got the same hand configuration on your steering wheel or windowsill as someone else pulled up next to you. Like you got an elbow on the ledge and a left hand on the steering wheel.
Yeah, but no. I think if you're both driving 940s, Volvos, that's fine probably. But if
you get a double wave for that.
yeah.
That's that's a stretch, is
That's
it?
stretching it for me.
Okay. Well, what about?
It's such a. There's only so many positions you can be in, sitting and driving. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. What about walking past someone with a red shirt and you've got a red shirt on as well?
This is getting very silly.
But I reckon if I was wearing a red shirt and I walked past someone else with a red, like I'm talking red, like real red.
Oh, you meant red. Okay, sorry. I thought you just meant red.
No.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
No,
talking red.
look, now, completely changed my mind. Yeah, I reckon
Okay.
I'm on board.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
I just had one. I like when maybe you're getting to know someone or you've been introduced to someone in a social setting and you throw a couple of quotes out there and they see if they know it.
Yeah.
There's this group of mates who, when I met them, who I'm now close with now, they will randomly say quotes from Harry Potter. And with no context, it makes sense in the context of the conversation.
Right.
But it's like a quote from Miss Umbridge or something.
Okay.
And then if you're skilled enough, the challenge by them is to respond in an appropriate quote from Harry Potter.
Okay,
basically.
not the following line in
just
the movie, just another
you can
one.
go to
Okay.
movie 7 and movie 1, but
That's
like
some
it
pretty
makes anyway.
advanced Harry Potter knowledge.
Yeah, I can't really operate on
can
that
you keep
level.
up with that?
Mike's
No.
a bit of a Mike has a podcast themed around Harry Potter
Yeah.
and the boys and Harry Potter. Yeah.
You would be good at that game, Mike.
Yeah, I think with the shirt thing, like it's less of a color thing and more of a context thing. Like I
Yeah.
once was wearing a Space Jam t-shirt and I just walked past a guy who was wearing a different Space Jam shirt.
nice.
And I said, Space Jam shirts, and he didn't seem interested in connecting. But I thought it was a great, like,
I think that's a
look at this.
no-brainer, that
That's
one.
it, yeah.
That's funny.
Mutual Space Jam appreciation.
Yeah.
And he wasn't having a bar of it.
No.
Oh, well.
Didn't even look at me.
Maybe he was on the lookout for someone with a red shirt.
We-
He's too busy.
Or we actually almost had a video idea that we almost filmed. I think you didn't get past your auditors somehow. Must get lost in the email somewhere. But we were going to do wearing the same band shirt, and you walk past someone and you
yeah.
just give them like a very subtle like nod. Say it was like Iron Maiden, you know those, or like Slayer.
Yeah, I do know
With the-
Iron Maiden. Yeah, I
so
do know.
you're kind of into like sort of more like pop rock stuff. This I'm talking like metal, heavy metal
Yeah,
sort
right.
of shit. Eyes and Milson and almost a Slayer. No. Anyway, so we thought we were going to do that, but then that feels like a moment where it's like a subtle nod of like, yeah, we're cool.
Yeah,
cool.
that would
You
be.
know.
I actually had one more that I remember when Mike was talking about walking past the street. I'm pretty sure my memory serves me correctly, but it was when I was about 15, and I was with a couple of mates from primary school, and that doesn't add up. I was with primary
You were
school
a slow
friends.
learner.
I was with primary school friends, so we must have been about 12, and there was 3 of us walking down the street, and we just walked past another group of 3 friends that looked our age, and I think the fact that we were both 3 people, we just went like, "G'day." So that was another joint experience, 3 versus 3.
Okay.